It's time for the Jesse T Show. Good to be back with you. The Brown Beauty is back on duty. It's $1 Million Money Making Monday, baby. That's right, it's Monday in Southern California. It's the time that we just talk about making money, pure and simple. It's all about the money. That's what it's all about right now. We're talking about making money. And as we break on the Jesse T Show, the start of the brand new week, good to have you back with me. The Brown Beauty is back on duty on the air and everywhere. From the community to the world, we are here with you, of course, on Facebook.com/Jesse Terrero, on YouTube, Jesse Terrero, and on Instagram Live, Jesse Terrero, soon to be out on Twitter, LinkedIn, and Blogger, and all those great places like Twitch and Snapchat will be out there, Google Plus, just after the show as the broadcast turns into a podcast. Today on the show, we're going to be bringing in tax specialist Dell from Kendal Investments. In about 10 or 15 minutes, we're going to be talking about the 2018 tax filing. Everybody is doing that now. And, you know, when you start talking about making money, the IRS in the state of California, for those of you living here and other states where you don't have taxes, but here in California, they are our nemesis. The California State Fair Tax Franchise Board and Governor Gruesome Newsom. Well, we're going to be talking about that because that's very intricate in terms of about making money and keeping some of your money. You know, that's baby what it's all about. You know, you can make a ton of money, but if you don't keep any of your money, that's a tough time. You know, I've made money, I've lost money, I've made money, I've lost money. I've made money and I've lost money. For those of you who are checking out on two Facebook cams right now, we have us on Facebook.com/Jesse Terrero with a fully produced show and some of those elements that you don't see here on the raw footage that I'm looking at right now over here, guys. I'm looking at this one over here, saying hi to Custer and David Smith. We're on Monday, baby. That's right, $1 Million Money Making Monday. $1 Million Money Making Monday. The 5 M's. You like that, huh? $1 Million Money Making Monday. So we're going to be talking to Dell, Kendal Investments here in a little bit about the 2018 tax stuff that's happening. And there's some really significant changes. And there aren't some significant changes. So we want you to kind of be attuned to that. Also, today we're going to be talking about some other things as we bring up on the graphic here. We're going to be talking about gold and where is it going, because it's gone up about $100 almost in the last couple of weeks. Is it going to continue to go up? Some say yes, some say no. Also, we're going to be talking about a special insider investment tip that I came across, something bigger than the internet, that is going to and is already and will change the world, Roger Anthony. Good to have us on $1 Million Money Making Monday with yours truly, Jesse T. And we're going to be talking about an inside tip, so I want you guys to get ready for that because that inside tip is going to be coming your way here very soon. Bigger than the internet. Hey, man, I wish you got involved with Windows and AOL and Google and Facebook and Amazon way back when. You should have got involved with them when they were making tons and tons of IPO shifts and stock splitting and all that was happening. I bet you wish you coulda, woulda, right? Yeah, well, hey, I'm going to give you something now. Man, it's even better. Better, you hearing me? It's the electricity of the 21st century, okay? It's electricity of the 21st century. Dell, we got Dell coming up here in just a few minutes, but I want to cover this here. Dell, let's see here. Let's bring you on board, but I want to cover this here if I can here. Let me bring you on board, Dell. Let's see. Yeah, I got to add you here. There we go. And I'm going to add Dell from Kendal Investments, and we're going to bring him on board. And we're adding him right now. For those of you who will be able to hear him, you're going to be able to hear him because I'm going to pop off this microphone setup right now and Nice and loud. Yes, it is. So we're bringing him on. Might be a little bit of a slow hookup there, but we're adding. So you have to accept. Hey, Dale, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, I'm good, brother.
Okay, good. All right, so hang in there with me. I got a little bit of a late start, and so I want to cover something here, and I think you'll find this very interesting, Dell, because it's something bigger than AOL and bigger than Microsoft and bigger than Windows and bigger than Apple and bigger than Facebook, bigger than Amazon when you first got involved with them, when they first busted out into IPOs and there was stock splitting. I got something that's bigger than that. That is, it's electricity of the 21st century. So I want to, it's a tip, it's an insider tip that I got about making some money here, $1 million money making Monday. So we're going to talk about that in a second. Also, we're going to be covering 8 companies that are offering some great stay-at-home jobs so you can make some decent money. And I'm not talking about basket weaving or anything like that. I'm talking about really good stay-at-home jobs with some quality companies because everybody's outsourcing now. They're letting everybody go. They want to get rid of that big overhead, and they're outsourcing. And I've got 8 great companies, so we're going to talk about that. And then I've got 2 companies we're going to review that are going to be busting out IPOs here in the first quarter of this year. And something about batteries. Batteries, the ingredients of batteries, man, that's exploding on the marketplace right now because everything's going electricity, you know. So $1 million money making Monday. Hey, check this out, Del. I came across this thing. It's bigger than electricity. It's like it's like it's going to revolutionize the world. So I'm going to refer to some of my notes here, and it all has to do around AI intelligence. Now everybody knows about AI intelligence and how it's taking over the planet, robotics, automation. But the thing about AI intelligence that's bogging it down right now at this moment and over the last couple, 3, 4, 5 years is it's not the loading up the data onto the software systems. They got that covered. They can get that in there. You know, Amazon has the largest database. Google has the largest database. And that's one way to go when you start investing in some of these high-tech companies, the ones that have the big, huge database. But that's conservative way. But this AI intelligence, it's not so much that. It's not even so much the robotics because we're starting to see these little robots infiltrate the consumer marketplace, especially the talking robots like Alexia and these talking things that Google has and Amazon and all of that stuff. It's not so much the automation because places like Federal Express and Amazon, they got robots working in their automation plants and the distribution plants, and all that distribution explosion is about ready to happen. But the problem they're having is it's the speed of the chips. There is not a chip in the world built anywhere that can absorb. It's called the learning speed. It's called deep learning. It's like human beings learn. Okay, it's deep learning. And that's the thing that they're having a problem with. It's the speed of the ability of the AI data to learn quickly. The chip is the biggest problem. And that's the issue. It's called the speed feed. It's the ability for the data to start learning itself. It's sort of like human beings. When you're driving in your car and you got your little boy or girl with you, and they first seen a big truck, and you say, that's a big red fire truck. So now all of a sudden they say truck to everything. A car is a truck, a motorcycle is a truck, a dump truck is a fire truck, an airplane is a truck because they don't know the difference yet. But once they start seeing a big red fire truck and you tell them, well, that's a cement truck, that's a pickup truck, that's a dump truck, that's a bulldozer on the back of a truck, that's a big truck, the human brain starts being able to process this and can distinguish the differences very quick and absorb the learning process so they start learning themselves. They start recognizing that a truck looks different than a car. A truck looks different than an airplane. A truck looks different than a bicycle. And once the human brain starts doing that, then you got this ability to learn exponentially. And that's what the human brain does. Well, computer chips can't do that yet. There are a few companies that have developed this, though. It's called the speed. It's a speed. It's a speed feed. The ability for the AI chip to learn. Okay, and there's this thing out here now. What they do is they're called GPUs.
It's the eventual next step of the chip that you the Intel chip, and it's not the chips the way they've done it. They tie chips together, sort of like blockchaining. They tie it together into one chip, and it allows that speed feed to start learning. So the AI intelligence starts learning faster, and once that happens, it revolutionizes everything, because then the robot can start learning the difference between a frying pan and a dish, a left turn, a right turn. And that's the thing that's been bogging the ability of these explosions. Well, they've got it now, and it's transforming these companies. I've got 3 to 4 companies I'm going to tell you guys about that I want you guys to go and research on your own, because these companies are developing this, and it's unbelievable what's happening in terms of this deep learning. It's a deep learning process where machines are able to teach machines and themselves, like the human brain. Okay, and it's unbelievable what can take place then. As an example, if a machine could understand diabetic eyes, if you have diabetes and you have eyes, you get these little white red blood spots in the white part of your eye, and that's what the eye doctor looks at for diabetic eyes. And so once the machine can distinguish diabetic eyes from not diabetic eyes, then the machine can figure out in an earlier response whether you are going to get diabetic eyes, if you're diabetes or not, and thus that you can start to resolve that problem a little faster. So this AI thing is changing everything. It's going to change everything. I mean, we're talking about $20 trillion industry here. Companies like Netflix, companies like Hasbro and Amazon and Facebook are already looking at this AI distribution, this playbook on how they can create this new kind of speed feed thing. And so I want you to look into this, guys, because this is where the next money is. This is where the big money is. And it's called deep learning, and for AI chips. There's a company called on the NASDAQ right now. It's not on the Dow. It's on the NASDAQ. It's about a $3 billion company. That's very small. Okay, it's a NASDAQ. It's NVDA. NVDA. It's called NVIDIA is the name of the English version of it. But the Q on NASDAQ is NVDA. And these engineers here are the ones that really blaze the trail in this new technology. There's another company that's really looking into this and doing their own thing with it, this deep learning and what's happening. A company called Alphabet, just like the word alphabet, ALPHABET. Okay, and he is the guy who started this company, is one of the original CEOs of Google. When he left Google, he took his big parachute money and he started his own company because his deep learning thing, it's where it's at. So Alphabet is another company that I want you to look at. He was developing this for Google in their deep mind technologies department. It's all about this deep learning now, and that's what's happening. There's another company out there I want you guys to check out, and you know it because we're on it right now, and that's Facebook. Facebook has already they're working with Alphabet today. So Facebook is taking what this guy that used to work at Google and this new way of being able to put data in and for the machines to talk. Facebook is going to look at a big investment at that. And we did talk about NVIDIA. So these are companies that are really leading the way right now in this. And I like NVIDIA. I like this one because this was the first one. It's NVDA on NASDAQ. Check it out, guys. Make your own investments as you want. But you can buy into this stuff right now. All you got to do is, go online, get your stockbroker or whatever, and to buy into this stuff. So it's really cool stuff. We're talking about making Monday, always here. $1 million money making Monday, baby. That's what it's all about. So check it out. All right. So let's bridge off right now to something that's really important because it is the brand new tax year, and the IRS is just getting back to work. So for those of you that have IRS tax problems, it's probably a good thing because they're Their last report I saw, they're a year behind hiring and training because of the shutdown. It's unbelievable. And so for those of you, though, that have wanted your refund as fast as you can, it's kind of a bummer. But they do say they're going to get those out pretty quick and pretty fast. But the most important thing is this is the first year that the 2018, the Tax Reform Act that Trump instituted and the government, this is the first year it kind of goes into effect. So I wanted to reach out to Kendal Investments and Dell. Dell does all of my taxes, and I recommend you checking him out. He's been doing this for 30 years. He's one of the top tax counselors and one of the guys that really understand this stuff deeply. And so I wanted to reach out to Dell so we can go over this and talk about this. He can tell us some of the basic things that have changed. So I've got Dell here on the line. What's happening, buddy?
Hey, Mr. Jeffy T, what's happening, my man?
Real good, real good. Good to have you along. You're looking good, and you got a nice bright light there this time.
Well, I had to kind of put that in here because, it gets dark, and plus, I am black for full disclosure.
But
so it can
we
get
can't see you then. Now we can. Hey, we want to see that handsome face, man. Come on
right.
now. Absolutely. So tell us, Dell, what's going on with how this new tax is being rolled out for tax season? What are some of the basic items that most people are worried about right now, and some of the hot topic items?
Well, first, I wanted to, before we start talking about the actual changes in the tax law from 2017, the Tax Act change is where we are right now as far as the government shutdown is concerned. The government's back on. The IRS has actually had about half of its staff back in the office for the last week or so, but they're basically training for the new tax law. It looks like we are still on schedule to get your tax refunds at the same time that you would usually get them every year. So that's really not a problem. Most things are automated with them now, so it doesn't really require a lot of human beings to do some things there.
Okay,
as far as the new
so the
tax,
folks are going to get their returns, their money back.
It looks like it looks like I've been submitting returns for the last 3 weeks. Today was the first day of acceptance, and all pretty much accepted. I'm still going through that pile there, but they've been pretty much accepted, which means that once they get them in their system, everything else is pretty much automated. So we're still looking probably first refunds going out the last part of February, the last week of February.
All right, so they're ramping up, and that's good.
Right. But it looks like it's on schedule. It doesn't look like the shutdown really affected the schedule when refunds are going to go out.
Okay, well, that's good news because a lot of people are worried about that. A lot of people depend on that refund coming back for a lot of reasons.
Yeah, this has been my number one. This has been my number one question from my clients. Does the shutdown affect when we're going to get our refunds back? So that's why I wanted to address that first.
All right. So what are some of the hot ticket items besides that question that people are really asking you about?
Yeah, well, as you said, I've been doing tax return for 30 years. And this year is the implementation of the tax law that changed in 2017. And a lot of it is kind of phased in. Anytime they do something very big, it gets phased in over a few years. It's one thing to see it in theory. There's another thing to see it in application. So now I'm looking at the application of what they have changed. And they changed a bunch of things. This is the biggest tax change that I've seen since the Ronald Reagan days.
Right.
They changed tax tables, tax schedules, and then they changed a lot of deductions. And deductions and exemptions are the biggest things that have really affected my tax clients at this point. We thought that they were going to be kind of phased in over a few years, but they're not. And one of the reasons why I wanted to come on the show today is because there's not much you can do to change how it's going to affect you this year. But there's some things that you can do that will help you for the upcoming years, because these tax phases, especially a lot of the changes that I'm going to talk about, last to 2025.
Okay, so they have a time cap to them.
Yes, they do. And
Yeah.
um, some of them are temporary and can be changed. It does not have a complete change on it. Most of the schedules say temporary or suspended.
Right.
So that means that Congress can go back at any time and unsuspend any of the individual changes that they made there. But
Mm-hmm.
the biggest change that they made was as far as standard deductions. And standard deductions go all the way down from single to married to head of household. And they made a very big change in that area this year.
Mm-hmm.
And the change that they made in that area for standard deductions is that they basically double the standard deduction, whatever your category was. So
So
let's
give me
just
an
say that,
example of that.
yeah, there we go. Let's just say that you filed as married in
Okay.
the past. Your standard deduction for that was $12,000. That's $12,000 that goes directly against your tax liability. The IRS doubled that standard deduction to $24,000.
That's a good
So,
thing, right?
yeah, technically it is. But they also eliminated the exemptions. Each person that is on your tax return gets an exemption amount that also goes against your tax liability. Last year it was $3,900. So we don't get the exemption anymore, but they have increased the standard deduction, which
So let me ask you this.
affects.
So last year, if I had a couple of family members, I
Mhm.
could I could add the $3,900, let's say for two family members, right? Or three
Right,
family members, or
right,
dependent. I'm there's the people that are dependent on you that you file
right.
dependency on your tax.
Exactly.
So it would take. I had $12,000 that automatically came, and I would basically have to put three or four people as a standard, as an exemption to get to that 24,000. Now they give you the
Exactly.
24, but they don't allow you to do the exemption. So if you have a
Yeah, the
lot of
exempt.
kids and a lot of
Exactly.
dependents, then you got a
Exactly.
cap. Then basically you have a cap that you're not going over.
Exactly. Now,
Yeah.
there's some ways that they kind of recouped it depending on the dependents that you have. If they were children that were some of your dependents, then it's not as bad if you had an older dependent, if you took care of a parent or auntie or whatever,
Right.
because you won't get that particular deduction. But that in its own is the smaller problem, because now what you have to weigh before in you can't really weigh it this way anymore, because the cap of the standard deduction is kind of going to be bigger than the itemized deductions, unless we have a few different things. Itemized deductions are things that you can personally write off. Your house interest rate, which we're going to talk about a little bit later because I know that interests you. Your
Yeah.
property tax, your job expenses, any donations that you might have made, the money that you spent to prepare your taxes, investment
And
advisor
those would normally
money.
schedule C's, right? A lot of that would
Right.
have gone on the Schedule C, but now they've made that different. The interest wouldn't go on the
Well,
Schedule C for your mortgage. So that would be
Well,
separate.
Schedule C is a little bit different because it doesn't it is not W-2 employee, a statutory
Okay.
employee. So it is in a regular business. I mean, sorry, if you're self-employed, that's a whole nother game. But
Mhm.
and we can talk about that on maybe the next show, because I want to concentrate on the majority of people that just get W-2s.
Yeah,
because it
well, you know,
affects them the most.
there's so much change here, Dell. We're gonna have to have you on maybe, you know, every Monday for about 15 or 20 minutes to talk about certain things
Exactly,
because it's
exactly.
just too much. I mean, you
Right.
know, to talk
It's a
about.
lot of things, right? And that's why I want to kind of to concentrate on the W-2
Okay,
portion of
let's
it,
do that.
because the majority of people get W-2s, and
Okay,
that's why it kind of affects you. Um, so the eliminations that they made this year, where you might itemize, kind of hurts you. Um, well, let's talk about what they kept. They kept the mortgage interest deduction,
well, that's
the
good.
property tax deduction, which is
Good.
good.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it as far as personal deductions that you can take. The donations as well.
Right.
But if those things don't go over your those amounts don't go over your standard deduction, then you have to take the standard deduction. You don't get both. You get either one is the biggest.
I see.
The things that they eliminated is what hurts us this year. They eliminated job expenses. So, for example, if you are a nurse and um, and California nurses, I don't know about other states, but California nurses sometimes work at 2, 3, or 4 different hospitals, so they're on call.
Right.
And so they don't work like regular 9 to 5. It's one hospital might call them to be there, and another one might call them to be
Right.
there. So they have expenses that are not recouped by their employer. Um, Communications from their cell phone, dry cleaning and they do get a little bit of dry cleaning amount, but it's nowhere close to what they
And
actually
they're
spend on it.
W-2 employees too,
They're
nurses
W-2
are.
employees, right?
But they still have the ability to write some stuff off at
Right.
one point.
No, they
They never
can't
did.
this year.
Yeah, they
They
can't do
they
that.
can't write any of that off.
None of it.
No, it's you can't write it off, but it's a ridiculous formula where you have to make where your expenses have to go way over your adjusted gross income amount, and nobody really qualifies for that.
Wow. Wow.
So they get hurt a little bit
Right.
because that's about 30 to 35% of their write-offs. So what they have to take this year is basically their standard deduction, which really, really kills them. So if you take an average nurse in California that makes about $100,000 a year,
Right.
and say that they're married and their total income is $125,000, which is low because that means their spouse only made $25,000. They are not able to take that additional 30% of expenses. For nurses that I do, which average about $20,000 of deductions. So it kills them. It kills them. And um, that happens for for a few other professions as well.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that law just says it's suspended. It doesn't say that it's permanent. So we have an opportunity as citizens to write our congressmen, our congresswomen, and ask them to reinstate job expense deductions, because I think
Okay.
that'd be something very easily that they can change. I think
Now
when you introduce
everybody was talking about everybody. Well, hey, this is a Jesse T show. It's and it's $1 million money making Monday. We're talking about taxes with Dell at Kendal Investment, and we're not going to be able to cover it all, guys, because there's a lot of intricacies and a lot of stuff. So we're just trying to get some hot button items. We're going to have Dell back probably every Monday for about 15 or 20 minutes through the tax season here. But the death tax was on everybody's mind when this stuff was going through. I remember. And or called the estate taxes.
right.
But everybody was calling it the death tax, and it was levied some really significant stresses against the money that would be passed down to the heirs of the estate after a person would pass on. Has that changed a little bit? That's gone
No,
up, hasn't it?
no, I don't ever worry about that, because the estate tax or the death tax only affects people that make millions of dollars.
Well, what if
It doesn't
somebody's
affect
estate?
us.
what if somebody's estate is, because the way housing prices is, if somebody has a couple of houses, and they've had them for some period of time, any zip code almost, they're $1 million in equity.
Right.
And
It doesn't affect it doesn't affect you. It doesn't affect us as
Okay.
regular taxpayers. Those
Okay.
that estate tax, the death tax, or whatever you want to call it. The
Right.
last time I checked, because I never actually ever have had to do one, is if your estate is worth over a certain amount of money, and the last time I
about
looked, it was like
$5.5
$5
million.
million.
Yeah, now it's up to 11. They doubled it.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So it doesn't affect us, and
Okay.
so I don't really concentrate on that. I try to concentrate on the W-2, regular average American things, because they'll change it, but that affects the top 1% basically.
What about all the people that have sold their houses this last year in 2018? Because we had a brisk housing market here in Southern California, and the old rule on capital gains, or not capital gains, but gains made on home sales,
Right.
you were excluded up to $500,000 if you filed jointly and were married. If you were single, the $250,000 of that net profit made. Is that changing, or did they take that away from us?
It's $1 million. It's the same law. It's still the same way. It's $1 million actually. And if it's your primary residence, it doesn't affect you at all. So any profits that you receive on selling your house doesn't affect you. You would get if you sold your house, you will get a form called 1095-A.
Right.
And that just shows the actual sale of your house.
Right.
And you do have to provide that with your taxes. And the people that sold your house for you, the escrow company, your realtor, or whatever, has to provide that money, that form to the IRS, because they make money on the sale of your house as well. But for as far as your taxes are concerned, if it's your primary residence, and if it's under $1 million, that's just all profit. It doesn't get taxed.
What about people that have kids going to college? It does, because a lot of people have, colleges are filled up. I mean, sometimes it's hard to get your kids in college because they're all filled up. So a lot of people are going to college now. So do the taxes on the parents, do they take that away, or we still have that?
No. It's for the education credit. It's been divided and increased since the days of 3 different credits.
Right.
Credits. You have one that's called the lifetime credit. You have one that's called the American Opportunity Credit, and then there's another one. I can't remember what it is. But the one that we take right now that will give you an actual credit, like the Earned Income Credit, is the American Opportunity Credit. And now it's based on a bunch of different calculations. It's based on how much money you made, your income, how much money you paid on tuition, how much money you paid on books and other materials that you needed that were not required for school but helped you go to the school.
I brought a table up here, and I was looking at the difference that you talked about, you alluded to earlier on in the conversation. And the highest tax bracket in 2017 was 39.60%. And that was people who made over $418,000 a year. The highest tax bracket now, over $500,000 a year, is 37%. And this is for a married. This is for it doesn't matter. This is 37%. It changed a little bit. It went down for folks making money from $38,000 to $82,000. It went down 3 percentage points to 22% instead of 25%. And for folks making under $38,000, it went down 3 percentage points again, from 15 to 12. So we got a little bit of help there. Head of household. Is head of household still the same?
No, as far as the standard deduction, that also doubled. Every category doubled. So if you look at the standard deduction for any one of the categories that you were there, double it.
Right.
If you're looking at 2017.
So
the thing is that if you made those numbers that you're talking about, $40,000 and less, the percentage tax table that went down to about 3% doesn't really affect you too much either way, because if you have a good tax preparer, your tax liability is going to be zero any damn way. So you're
Right.
not going to pay money on any of those monies or whatever you made anyway. So the what the game that you're trying to do is get your tax liability all the way to look like zero, depending
Right.
on how many people that are on your return, your deductions, your exemption. No, well, you can't get the exemptions anymore, and everything else. And so whatever they took out from box number 2, federal income tax withheld, is what you're trying to get back. So if
Right.
they lessened your tax liability by 3%, but you still had enough deductions and people that were on your return, you're still going to get back pretty much everything that they took out of federal income tax withheld.
You know, I was looking at the alimony because a lot of folks are divorced, and
Yes.
a lot of folks have, taking care of their kids, and
Mm-hmm.
men and women both paying alimony to each other. And
Mm-hmm.
the alimony, the old rule was the individual paying alimony or maintenance payments, perhaps they call them, can deduct payments from their income. So if you were
Yes.
paying, you could deduct that. That was the old rule. And then the person receiving the payments includes them as their income. So it kind of flips. It goes from one party to the
Right.
next. But the new rule says the
Right.
person
Yeah.
making alimony or maintenance payments does not get to deduct them. So if I'm
Yeah.
making alimony payments, I don't get to deduct them now. And,
Yeah.
and,
Well,
and
technically, you cannot deduct them, but
right,
there's a loophole around it that you
there is.
can deduct it. Not all of it, 75% of it.
Really?
Yes.
See, this is why you have to get with all the rules that we knew since the Reagan Tax Reform Act
Right.
in the 80s have changed.
It's done.
Yeah, so
Done.
you
If your reality is what you've been doing taxes for 25 years from,
right,
and way more than that, since if that's how
right,
you're thinking about taxes and deductions and exemptions, you have to throw that out the window now. It's a different situation. The tax rates are different.
yeah,
What you can write off is different. And even when you say with the alimony, there used to be 100% you can write that off from your tax liability. Now it's not 100% that you can write off from your tax liability. What it is that you can write that off from your adjusted gross income.
yeah, but you have to get with somebody to be able to understand that, because if you
Right.
read the rules straight up, it says you can't do it. So you
Well,
have to be
yeah.
able to understand the difference and have somebody who
Yeah.
studies it. What
Right.
about the child tax credit? I think we
Yeah.
touched on that. How has that been affected by this? Because a lot of people use a child tax credit.
Yeah. Yeah. It's confusing about the child tax credit, and I always try to explain that to my clients. Child tax credit is not actually a credit like the earned income credit. What that is a deduction from your tax liability. So it increased this year from $1,000 to $2,000 per child. So that does help, but it doesn't give you money like the earned income credit. It just reduces whatever your tax liability was. So let's just say after you did your return, you still now, if you put that child tax credit in there, it'll reduce your tax. So now your tax liability is only going to be $2,000 versus $4,000. The more children that you have, the more children that you have on there, then you're able to recoup some of your money.
Right. So what you're saying is that we got to go out and make some more babies.
Yeah, it's a different game, and that's one of the.
I'm not making more babies, baby. I'm practicing making babies. That's all I'm doing. I just want to practice a little more.
Right. If you look at that, the child tax care credit from what they send in the booklet, you look at it and you're going, wait a minute. But in practice,
There we go. So lost you for a second there. But you're
Okay,
back.
my bad. Yeah, I see somebody. Yeah. It is tax time. You know, people call it back to back, but it's all good.
Okay, so look at.
Stop calling me, folks. I'll call you back.
Yeah, I know. I get those all the time. Hey, look at. So what we have to do here is I want to bring you on every Monday here for the next couple 2 or 3 weeks if I can, and then we'll focus in on some as you're preparing more taxes. You're probably already seeing the general same questions over and over and over.
Yeah, indeed. That's why I wanted to come on with you.
About corporate taxes too, maybe next week.
Yeah, we can do that. That's a whole different monster, but we'll talk about that next show. But I do want to say one last thing before I get off to the people that are listening to this. Because we don't know if they're going to change any of these laws. Please go back to your employer and fill out a brand new W-4 form.
Really?
Make
okay.
sure it's accurate. Please do not put our 50 dependents to knock down what they're taking. Don't do that anymore because it's going to hurt you at the end of the year. Go back and reflect exactly what your situation is. So if you have one,
put 3 dependents. Right. Yeah. Don't max it out.
Exactly. And that's something that needs for you guys. You need to do that immediately.
So that W-4 becomes real important now, all of a sudden.
Right, because that's going to hit you for the whole year.
Wow.
So you want them to be taking out the correct taxes.
It's a whole new learning process that we're going to have to go through here. And you got to get with Dell. The guy's been doing this a long time. And all of this is new to even qualified people, and they're wrestling with all this right now. But you've got to get with a professional. Kendal Investments is a great place to sit down and have a chat with Dell about this stuff, and he'll make sure you're doing the right stuff. How can they get in touch with you? You got a phone number, Dell?
Yeah, you can hit me at my area code is 661-466-9058. If I don't answer the phone, understand.
Yeah, leave a message because he's always busy.
All right, just text me up, and then you can always hit me on, of course, Facebook, Messenger, KendalInvest@yahoo.com.
Okay, and check it out because give Dell a call. He'll make sure you're on the right road because anything that you knew before, throw it out, forget it. It's completely changed, and there's so many little nuances that have changed. You really have to have a professional who does this on a daily basis to be able to, make your way through this cloud. But it all gets straightened out. But the good news here is that if you get on top of your returns right now, you're still going to basically get your return pretty quickly. So that's the good news for a lot of people, because I know a lot of people have asked me in the real estate business, they were worried about that. They, sometimes they use that for their down payment or something like buy a house. So a lot of people have been worried about that. So that's good news that the government isn't really going to be holding that up that much. And that's pretty much when they start getting those checks out anyway in February. So that's really great. And remember, get that W-4 done. Give the number once again, Dale, before we let you go.
Dale Bird is 661-466-9058. If I don't answer, please text me and I'll hit you back. And then you can always hit me right here on the Messenger Facebook. Kendal.
That's Kendal Investments, guys. Dale, thanks a lot, brother. I appreciate it. You're the best, man.
Right,
I'll see you tomorrow. Man, he keeps
right,
me clean. He keeps me clean, man. And I'm a hard case. See you, brother. Okay.
All right, man.
Bye-bye. All right. I'm glad we had a chance to talk with Dell. We'll get that signal, a little bit better. But, hey, it's $1 Million Money Making Monday. If it sounds confusing, it is. We're trying to unconfuse you a little bit here on the Jesse T Show. Yes, to Edmund Droulet, I am going to be interviewing Frida Payne, probably that up. Yeah, Frida's terrific. I love her. Saying hi to Cat Baller, bro. Edmund Droulet. We got to get you, Edmund,
on the show and talk about some of the stuff that you do. You do some great investigation stuff. I love some of the topics, like Mueller, his dad was a Nazi. I love that one. Anyway, we're talking money today, making money. Rudy Smith, thanks a lot, Rudy. Tina Payne is on, thank you. Manuel D. Gemini Garcia. Hey, Avery Bryce corrected something for me about the AI deep learning technology that I want you guys to look into and get involved with. He said that Google and Facebook are not collaborating on any AI deep learning projects. So look at NVDA. They were one of the leaders in that. And you want to check that out, because AI learning, this deep learning, is where it's all at. RJ Johnson, and this is a time that you can really get involved with this pretty quickly. And Original Hammond Sr. has us on. Michelle Tripoli, I like that name. Thanks a lot, Avery. I appreciate that. Yeah, I know I'm a little bit late on that, but we're still early enough to be able to get in on that. IPOs and stuff have been done, but we're still okay on that. Well, most of the hey, think about it for a second, Avery. Everything is going to get into this deep learning. Everything is going to be interconnected with everything. So we're looking at this. This industry is going to just explode in that respect. But we appreciate that. Thanks a lot for your knowledge, brother. And that's a good thing. Anyway, $1 million Money Making Monday. A couple things I want you to get involved in early right now. We talked about it the last couple of weeks. A couple of companies that are going to go IPO, and that is Lyft and Uber. I think that Lyft will probably go IPO before Uber. So you want to start looking at that and keeping your eyeballs on Lyft and Uber. They're going to go IPO, and you want to get involved in that IPO when they go public, from private to public. That's where you can make some big money. I'll give you an example. If you had $5,000 of Amazon stock, for every $5,000 split of Amazon stock, you're looking at $1.5 million it's worth today. 5,000 is worth $1.5 million, or maybe even more. So you might, you may want to check some of that out, my friends, and look at Uber and Lyft. I think that Lyft is probably going to go public before Uber does, because they're second best to Uber, and they need they're coming up the back end real fast, and they need some extra funds to expand. I kind of like Lyft better than Uber in terms of that, the way it's run. They seem to take a little better care of their drivers, at least from the impromptu surveys that I do when I take both of those entities. But look for that to go IPO. Hey, where's gold going? We talked about that. We're going to talk about some real estate real quick, and we're going to talk about some companies that you may want to look at if you're looking for a new gig, stay-at-home jobs, okay? Gold is going up, man. It's gone up over $1,303 today, and we're probably looking over $1,400 real soon, and a lot of people are prognosticating that gold is going to continue to rise on the shaky world economic situation. But certainly the Fed is probably not going to raise the rate. They're going to keep the rates down here on Thursday. We'll know about that, which means that silver's a good buy at about $15 an ounce, and gold still is a good buy. It's always good to back up your investments with real precious metals. Very important to get that going, because when the fit hits the shan, as my buddy Larry Elder says, one of my pals in the business, you'll be dying if you don't have some silver and gold. Silver, having more silver pieces than gold pieces, obviously, because they're less expensive. Some people are saying silver is going to go up to $100, $150 an ounce. Some people are saying gold could go up to $2,500 an ounce. I mean, you're talking about big-time investment, and it always is a good long-term investment. So buy some gold and silver. It has shifted. Gold has shifted. Listen, America is broke. Okay, it's broke. The only way that we raise money in America is sell treasury bonds. And that's how we raise money. America does not pull in enough money on taxes. It is broke. We have a $19 trillion debt. Okay, it's broke. And it's never going to get out of debt. That's why they're going to recast the world economic system. That's why this one world government, one world economy is going to kick in. Because they're going to recast all debt and wipe them out. Of course they are. They got to. The world's not going to be able to pay off its debt. And America can't even pay off its debt. It will never pay off its debt. Period. End quote. Nothing will ever pay off the debt. So they're going to recast it and wash it away. in that respect. Saying hi to Joe Klein, who has us on. Hey, Joe, how you doing? So America is broke right now. The only way they raise money is selling treasury bonds and trading that on the marketplace at countries like Japan and China and Korea, South Korea that is, and England and France and Germany and all around the world, India. They even sell them to Russia too. There's no friend or foe when it comes to making money. So with that in mind, buying gold and silver is real important, guys, to back up whatever your investment. 401ks are directly connected to the stock market. So, you got to be wary of that. The stock market's going back up right now. But remember, the stock market is for corporations, not for you and me. 97% of all the people that invest in the stock market lose. So you don't want to look at your 401k as your end all. Okay, 401ks do bust. Remember, they busted twice in the last 20 years, the dot-com blow up and the subprime blow up. So 401ks nosedive. So, you got 30-30-30 plan is pretty good there too. $1 Million Money Making Monday. So I just want to touch on that real quickly. Hey, there's 8 companies out there if you're looking to get a daytime job or a part-time job or a real big job. There's 8 companies, big companies right now that are offering work from home. Now, these aren't, Johnny-go-lucky companies. These aren't, selling scissors online at Amazon.com. No, these companies are completely different. We're talking about the big boys. And so you might want to check some of these companies out. With the cutback on with automation and robotics and AI intelligence, what we just talked about, and the cutback on jobs because they want to cut down overhead, and they're going to be able to do that. You better start retooling what you do in life. They want to offset this stuff to third parties that work at home. That's what it's going to be. So companies like Google is, you don't have to have college degrees for this stuff. So check out Google. They've got lots of open positions that require what the company calls equivalent practical experience that you can do from home. Ernst & Young, the big Ernst & Young, you might want to check them out. They've got positions that they do require a bachelor's degree, but they're flexible positions in the United Kingdom and that you can do at home. You've got some things there that they do have some positions that do not require a college degree. Ernst & Young. Another company, Penguin Random House. Okay, the publishing company has open flexible positions where equivalent work experience is accepted in an applicant. You don't have to have a 4-year degree, and you can do this at home. Hilton, the Hilton Corporation, same thing. Hilton Management, Hospitality, has several flexible home jobs. They pay very well. You only need a high school diploma. Apple has that. Nordstrom's has it. IBM, Lowe's has it. So those are 8 companies you want to check out, guys. Check them out. They pay well from home. Right? With all the technology today, they don't need you to be going to work. So you want to check those out. Always talking about $1 million making money, baby. That's what we talk about every Monday right here on the Jesse T Show. Let's talk real estate right now. Going to give you 3 properties that are well below the market value, 50% or so under the market value. Yeah, baby, that's right. I go real fast here, so you got to stay with me because, hey, making money don't take long if you know what you're doing, and you can't be waiting for people that, can't pull the trigger. You got to pull the trigger like Dan Pena says. Don't be a sissy. Pull the trigger, man. Take the risk. That's what it's all about. Pull the trigger, take the risk. I'm going to give you 3 properties right now that you should go out and contact me, Jesse T. That's right. Yeah, I've been a broker for over 40 years and a real estate broker and loan broker and notary public, investor, developer. I've won, I've lost, I've won, I've lost. I've helped a lot of people become millionaires like Angel Perez, who recently two houses in two and a half years. So look at, you've got to start listening to what I'm saying here. The ANGELES. I'm doing this right in front of you. That's how fast I get this stuff done. So if you really want to buy something, you really want to make some money in real estate, give me a call. Go to our website at www.buyjesset.com. I got auctions, I got bankruptcy listings, I got probate, short sales, HUDs, real estate owned. Those are owned by corporations and banks. Notice of defaults. I got all kinds of stuff going on here. And I'm going LA County. I'm going to put a price range of $150,000. $150,000 to $500,000. Let's see if we can find anything for you. I want to find 3 right here as I look. You're watching me do this right now. Right now. If you go to one of our Facebook feeds, I'm doing this for you right now, right in front of you. And I'm not BSing you guys. I'm going to pop this up right here. Let's see what we got. All right, how many do we have here? We have 215 properties available. I'm going to eliminate all the condos right now. So let's go back and eliminate all the condos. $1 Million Money Making Monday. We're talking all kinds of things. I'm all about making money, and I'm all about talking about making money, and hopefully you can make some money, and you come back to me and buy a piece of property from me. That's what I want. That's right, baby. I want you to get some property because you deserve it. And the market's changing a little bit. It's flattening out on the top end. So this is a good time to buy. You can probably get a better price for yourself. Let's just go single family houses, okay? And let's bring up that criteria one more time and see what we come up with. Okay, we dropped down to 61 properties. All right, let's put this here in order at $150,000. Are you ready? Are you ready? Yeah, I just did. Just like that. You think I'm BSing you guys, don't you? I just did it right now. I'm going to bring this one up. It's in Lancaster. Who cares? If you make money, does it really matter? Making money is what it's all about. It don't matter where it's at. It matters that you put a profit in your pocket or learn how to. Yeah, that's right. Check this out. This house is a 1-bedroom, 1-bath house. And so what? So watch how you make it bigger. Let's take a look at it. I'm looking at it for the first time. Okay, where's it at? Okay, I got it. It's out in the desert. Let's see what we got here. I'll tell you if it's a good one or a bad one. Let's see what we got going on here. All right, come on up. Bring on up for me now. All right, let's see what we got here. Okay, you see the picture right there? I'm going to show you the picture. There it is, right there. All right, let's see what we got here. We got a 1-bedroom, 1-bath house, a 1-bedroom, 1-bath house, and hold on a second here. Okay, we got a 1-bedroom, 1-bath house. Let me make sure we're still busting out here and you can hear me. Okay, yep, you can hear me. That's right, cool. So we have a 1-bedroom, 1-bath house for $150,000. And let's see what we can turn here. It's about 700 square feet. Oh my goodness, it's sitting on 5 acres. Holy smokes. That's a big piece of land. Let's see what some pictures are. Let's see what we got here. Let's see what we can see. All right, yeah, this one's out in the desert. This is a desert palace. All right, there you go. You can see this is a house right here. Looks like there's a garage right here. You can see my pointer. You convert that garage into another bedroom and a bathroom. You got 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. You turn around, sell this thing for $180,000. That's how easy it is. I wouldn't buy it though. It's out in the desert. You can buy something a little bit better. But hey, you can make money here too. Let's go back and see what else we got. All right, I'm going to give you 3. I'm doing it right on the spot right now. So I'm seeing it for the first time and making my decisions real quick. All right, let's go to this one right here, $174,000. Let's see what this one's all about. Where is this? This is in Little Rock. Oh my goodness, look at that house. Look at that house. $170,000, $174,000. 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,500 square feet, sitting on 5 acres of land, 218,462 square feet of land. And it's got a garage right here. So what you do is you convert that garage into another bedroom, master bathroom, put a garage off the back or carport out the front. You pop the sales price. You sell this thing for $200,000, maybe $225,000 right there. That's not a bad buy actually. So you offer $150,000. You start there. You make it happen. Let's see some pictures on it real quick. Wow, that's a nice looking house. Look at that. Wow, got a whole back area. Got a barn, nice looking kitchen. There you go. Needs some work. It's a fixer-upper. It's about 30% on the market, 40% on the market. Not bad. Not bad of shape at all. Wait, there's a little busted up wall right there. You see it right here? Little busted up wall. Yeah, looks like a little busted up ceiling in here, but that's okay. That's what you got to buy. You got to buy things that you have some vision on. Look at the size of this. All right, let's go back. Let's catch another one. Let's jump ahead here. Let's go up to the $300,000 price range, see if we can find something in the San Fernando Valley. Let's do that right now, and or Santa Clarita Valley. Let's see what we got here. Let's go right here and see what we got. Jumping up, Northridge. Let's see, Reseda. No, Northridge. Let's see, where is this one at? I don't recognize this name. Oh, this is in Linwood. All right, this is in the city. 2-bedroom, 1-bath, 700 square feet, $340,000 in Linwood. I just sold a house just like this for $425,000. I just sold a house just like this for $425,000. It was cute. This one needs some work, and it was in Compton. Right, making money, right? 2-bedroom, 1-bath. You got a garage off the back of this house, I bet. Let's see. Are there any pictures? We got 14 pictures. Let's see if there's any garage there. Not bad. It's an older house. Yeah, it was built in 1920s because everything in central Los Angeles was built in a nice kitchen, though. See what the backyard looks like. Needs a little bit of work. Okay, you can make that a carport. Make that a garage, that back patio. That's not bad. All right, there you go. That's worth $425,000 right there. Real simple. Let's go back one more. I'm going to give you one more. $1 Million Making Monday. That's right. $1 Million Money Making Monday. Here we go. See what else we got. Let's go to Northridge. Now let's go to, Northridge. Zelza. It's not bad. That's a nice area. Oh, wow. Look at that. $449,000. Guys, Zelza right here, that's $700,000. That's between $600,000 and $700,000. That's a 1,600 square foot house with a 2-car garage. You convert that thing, put a carport out here, right here, convert that thing right there with a carport, convert it into a 2-car garage. It's attached off the back. You got yourself now 4 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms, 2,000 square feet. You're looking at $700,000. Built in '55. That's a great area. Wow, that's Roscoe and White Oak. Not bad, huh? There you go. Hey, we're talking about it. I told you. I just did it for you right there. Give me a call. 818-800-1343. 818-800-1343. Or go to our website, www.buyjesset.com. Or if you're selling, I can get your house sold fast, real fast at www.sellerjesset.com. General information, www.mrsoldjesset.com. Money's cheap and easy to get, too. Only need a 580 or better FICO score as long as you've reestablished credit. We can talk more about that, okay? So let's see. What else I want to talk about? We talked about the companies, talked about gold, we talked about AI, we talked about taxes. What else did we talk about? What else do we need to Oh, yeah, the last thing. We talked about IPOs. The last thing that I wanted to talk to you about today. And I want you guys to pay attention. And Avery's probably going to say I'm behind on this one too. And I know I am. But that's okay. Commodities. Look at some commodities. Get with your stockbroker and look at some commodities. And 2 commodities I want you to look at. 2 materials. I want you to look at the stuff that they make batteries out of. Lithium and manganese. Okay? Lithium and manganese. The whole world is going electric and green. The whole world is going electric and green. That's why I want you to go look at silver, because all solar panels have to have silver in them. And there's a shortage right now. Most of the solar panels come from China. And there's a shortage right now. That's why silver is a good investment. But manganese and lithium, look at it, okay? And think about it. Because you can get these commodities, hold on to them, and, you know, lithium is harder to find on God's blue-green earth than a lot of raw materials. It's one of the reasons why we went into Afghanistan. That mountain between Afghanistan and Pakistan is one giant rock mountain of lithium. We don't have a lot of that in America. We have some deposits, but not much. And we have manganese, but we don't have lithium. So look at that. Lithium and manganese. You got it? Sounds good? All right. Let's do it. Let's get out of here. We got to get out of here, all right? So, hey, we call this $1 Million Money Making Monday, every Monday, right here on the Jesse T Show. We break down and look for ways to make money. Boy, we covered a lot today. My goodness. Hit it, Jack. The Jesse T Show, right here, every Monday. It's $1 Million Money Making Monday. Good to have you along with me on there and everywhere. The Brown Beauty is just about off duty. Wednesday, we're going to be live at KTMT Radio and TV Network and the home of the powerofvoices.com and the Global Radio Network, DSAW Media. We're going to be in studio live with Mark Holdley. Mark Holdley is going to be checking in with us. Yeah, Mark's a praying mantis sifu. He's a praying mantis sensei, a master at praying mantis. Also, a funny guy. He performs regularly at the Comedy Store. A comedic genius. Mark Holdley's checking in with us. Going to have him in studio, talk about his movie career too. He's an actor and a comedian, and he loves Harley. So we're going to be talking some Harley talk too. Mark Holdley on the Jesse T Show. That's Wednesday. From the studio, we want you to be there, 424-227-9461. Write the number down, give him a call, and check him out. We'll be posting up some info. Mark's a funny guy, so we're going to break out, do some comedy here on the Jesse T Show on Wednesday. That's the 6th in February, okay? Now, this week, on Wednesday coming up, we have two terrific actors coming in. A surprise actor and a child actor. A really terrific young child actor off Broadway. A Broadway actor is coming in. So we're going to talk theater and Broadway. Yes, very good. So we're going to have that. That's going to be a lot of fun. And we're breaking off thanking the Espada Public Relations Agency. Appreciate that very much. They set up a couple of great guests for us. We'll be posting up that, so look for that. More information on the way. And one last thing, February 24th, we'll be broadcasting live the Jesse T Show from the 4th annual Roger Neal pre and post Oscar viewing dinner and party and after party. It's going to be a great time. We'll be on the 200-foot red carpet at the Hollywood Palladium. Go to our membership subscription. We're going to take somebody with us. We're going to have a good time. We want you to be a part of it. Yeah! At the Hollywood Palladium on February 24th, Oscar night, we're going to be there. We want you to be there with us. Dan the Man and yours truly, Jesse T, broadcasting live on the red carpet for the 4th annual Roger Neal pre and post Oscar viewing and dinner party and after party. You can get tickets too. Give me a call at 818-800-1343. I can get some tickets for you too if you want to go. A lot of fun. Over 300 stars. Man! Woo! The Brown Beauty is off duty. You have a good one. Talk to you later.